Hey everybody, it's Ann Patchett at Parnassus Books, another fabulous Laydown Tuesday. If you missed it, this was a great book that came out a couple of weeks ago. We had a super event with Brad Paisley. It's called I Have Something to Tell You by Chasten Buttigieg. And now today, we have a book by his husband, Mayor Pete, called Trust. It's about politics. It's great. Here's Andy.
Thanks, Ann. Got a couple of nonfiction titles for you this morning. 10 Lessons from a Post-Pandemic World by Fareed Zakaria. Interesting, in 2017, he predicted that we would be suffering from a pandemic, so he might have some good insight to what to do afterwards. Brilliant new biography of Eleanor Roosevelt, a really good, refreshing new look at her life. Undaunted by John Brennan, the former director of the CIA. His fight against America's enemies at home and abroad. And finally, The Zealot and the Emancipator by H.W. Brands. This is John Brown and Abe Lincoln. And Kat's got some more titles for you.
We've got a lot of titles today. First up, we've got a couple paperbacks. A fantastic new little edition of Ann Patchett's Commonwealth. It's only $10, so you can grab a copy. And Zadie Smith's story collection, Grand Union. We have Be Anti-Racist by Ibram X. Kendi. For those of you who have read his books, this is a great new way to jump in. It is a guided journal on working through all the things that you've been reading about. And two new cookbooks today. The one and only Ina Garten, Modern Comfort Food. This is such a great book for pretty much anyone who wants to cook anything at any time. She's so fabulous and has great ideas for what to cook every day. And Maneet Chauhan's Chaat. She took a train ride across India, and this is some of her favorite recipes from all the different regions around India that you encounter as you ride a train, as you hang out on the street. So there's a bunch of fun little snacky things, fun drinks to make. And Missionaries by Phil Cly. We love Phil Cly so much. He wrote the short story collection that won the National Book Award, Redeployment. This is his new one, Missionaries. This is his first novel. It takes place primarily in Colombia and is all about what modern warfare is and how it's become globalized and how it kind of has this invisible thread that none of us really see. And two novels set in the Irish countryside, John Banville, Snow. A Chicago police detective decides that he needs to escape his life, moves to the Irish countryside to retire, and then a young boy comes up to him and says, "My brother is missing, and no one will do anything about it." And Tana French takes us back in time just a little bit to the 1950s in the Irish countryside, and a parish priest is found dead in a manor home, and a Protestant detective has to come in and try to solve the crime. And for everyone who loves Brandon Stanton's Instagram account, Humans of New York, this is his book. He traveled across the world to more than 40 countries and compiled some amazing stories and photographs. And to finish us up, The Invisible Life of Addie Larue by V.E. Schwab. A young woman decides when she is 17 that she will make a deal with the devil to live forever, but the catch is that no one will remember her until 300 years later when someone does. And now we've got Rayanne with Kids in YA.
Thanks, Kat. We have a lot of new picture books today. The first one I want to show you is All Because You Matter by Tammy Charles and one of my favorite illustrators, Brian Collier. It's a book about joy, and it starts, "They say that matter is all things that make up the universe, energy, stars, space. If that's the case, then you, dear child, matter." What Will Build by Oliver Jeffers. This is a book about a dad and daughter who build a home, a life, and a place for friends. A National Book Award long list book, How We Got to the Moon by John Rocco. Get this for all your space kids. Two new chapter book installments today, Sophia Valdez and the Vanishing Vote, and The Princess in Black and the Giant Problem. New in middle grade, we have Becoming Muhammad Ali by Kwame Alexander and James Patterson. This is a biographical novel about Muhammad Ali's childhood in Louisville and how he started training to be a boxer at age 12. Rick Riordan has the last book in the Trials of Apollo series today, The Tower of Nero. Will Apollo turn back into a god and make it back to Mount Olympus. And Tristan Strong destroys the world. In this book, Tristan is trying to rescue his grandmother, but the only god he can summon to help is the trickster. A contemporary middle grade, The Boys in the Back Row by Mike Jung. This is about two boys who sneak away from band camp to go to a comic convention and meet their favorite comic artist. We have lots of Wings of Fire readers at Parnassus, and this is a new book, The Winglets Quartet. It's 4 stories collected into a book for the first time. Dun da da! My favorite book today. This is a book that we've been waiting for by Jerry Craft. It's the middle grade graphic novel, Class Act. The New Kid book was the very first graphic novel to win the Newbery, and this is the companion novel, but takes us back to Riverdale Academy, and Jordan's best friend, Drew, is the main character. If you are a fan of Lord of the Rings, they have been repackaged in these great paperbacks for YA readers. It is the full story. And we have a brand new YA series that starts today by Julie C. Dow, The Mirror Broken Wish. This is the first in a 4-book series that will be told by 4 different YA authors. This is the story of Elva, who sees into a broken mirror the future and what's going to happen. She comes into her powers to try to stop it, but the line between hero and villain is blurred. So that's what we have for Kids in YA today. Thanks so much, and don't forget to shop local.